Welcome to class on online teaching tools. So today we are going to have a overview about different tools available on online. So here I am going to give a presentation as well as demonstration of different online tools available for online teaching as well as sharing the material. Also, it will be used for creating a registration forms to feedback forms, so many things. Also, it will be helpful for creating certificates, how to do a mail merge, everything we are going to learn here. So basically, the outline of the entire presentation is like this. So what does that course design means? What is the different type of school course you're going to give it? What should be the approach for it? That will be elaborated in this first part of it. Then we are going to discuss about different registration tools available. That is, a forms. We can collect the participants from Google Forms, and also we can bring them into the Google Classroom. We can use a Google Drive to manipulate all the data. We'll discuss that also. After this, most of the time we are going to record the sessions, and if we want to share that sessions to participants, and there are bunch of recording tools available, and that recording tools will have in a mostly it is non-interactive type of sessions, and this non-interactive means only the presenter is going to talk, but participants will not have any kind of an interaction. They can only listen this audio and video of your entire lecture. Next is we can, there are certain interactive tools like WebEx is there, Microsoft Teams is there, Zoom is there, then Google Meet is there. All these tools, we will explore only one of it. So that is a WebEx, as well as there is a possible if you have a Microsoft Office PowerPoint tools. In that also we can have a recording as well as online streaming. Also we can work out into this. After doing all the teaching, there is the next part comes up to be evaluating the students and having some exams for them, and that is possible by having a Google quiz, and we can develop forms for this Google Forms, and how to explore or how to deploy this quiz into the classroom, Google Classroom. That also will execute it. Then after that, we can have a certification tools. So once we complete our entire session, entire presentation, entire course, obviously we need to certify the students. And for that purpose, we need to send maybe your students maybe in a 60 or maybe 100 or more than that. So in that case, we need to use a merge tool, that is mail merging tool, preparing a certificate, and how to merge these different fields from the directly Google Forms Excel sheet, and how to share it, that entire certificate online. That also we can see it here. So basically, we'll first of all discuss about what does that course design means. Actually, course means we are having some plan to teach something. Teach something means what is going to happen. So there are a bunch of the participants who are interested to learn something from teacher, and that teacher's role is to provide him in a certain systematic procedure which will develop in a certain learning ability, or he will understand something, and that is what the way we need to design in a course. This course is having some definition that is by Razor and Dempsey. It's in a systematic process that is employed to develop an education and training programs in consistent and reliable fashion. So the ultimate goal of this entire course design is to provide effective and sound courses that will focus on typically learning, not on the teaching part. Because traditional way we used to teach in the class, and students are showing some interest into your teaching lectures. But in this non-online sessions, we will not find in much time to have an interaction with the students. In that case, our focus should be more on the learning, what the student is going to learn or what the participants are going to learn. And that is what the basically intention. Whenever we are going to have a course design, so when we are going to design in a course, first of all, intention is to provide in a certain theme line for it, and that theme line indicates so what exactly you're going to tell them. Maybe I can tell you one example. I want to teach students for Arduino. So Arduino is my central point, and based on this Arduino, I can use this Arduino for central sensor interfacing. Maybe I'm using for actuator interfacing. Also, maybe I'm going to develop in some IoT platform. There are different approaches. So now my basic intention to give them an Arduino. Then what kind of a content you want to create? Whether you want to go for an only sensors, or you want to go for an actuators, you want to develop some control system, you need to list down what type of sensors you are going to do it. Also maybe you're going to have some actuators, you want to have controllers, or you may be connecting with wi-fi tools or kind of things. So that is what the way you can first of all design what exactly content or subject matter as a teacher, and that entire subject matter should be kept in a systematic way. Means we need to put it into a procedural way. What should be learned first, then second, then third. Likewise, we can create in a one simple tree, or you can create in a ladder for it. That will be no better. And once we create in a ladder, and that ladder is going to now help our students to learn step by step. So most of the time teachers are, I also used to do. So I used to teach the students with the jumps, and that is not expected because in online session we can't understand the psychology of the students or participant. In that case, we need to provide an information step by step. So that is what it is expected. So next part is on what kind of a technical knowledge or technical tools we are going to use it. Maybe a certain application that also you can explore onto this. And what is the instructional knowledge, or what is the pedagogical method and learning theory you're going to learn for it or develop for it. Whenever we are going to design a course, so there will be a four steps comes into this. First step is analyze, second step is a develop, third step is a implement, and fourth step is an evaluate and redesign it. So this is nothing but a typical framework needed to have an effective learning for the students or participants. So to create an effective learning, so we need to create a new course, convert an existing face-to-face course to an online or blended platform, and we need to include certain evaluating components for this particular course. And if this, in this case, if you find something is missing out of it, so in that case, what we can do it, we can redesign that course, or we can reiterate it to providing either more content or reduce the content. If content is going to be more, you reduce the content, and based on that you can go on doing this more and more iteration, and in first time itself your course will not be much more successful, but after some time or some few iterations, obviously that will be the most interesting for all the participants. So first of all, look at what is the first one. Analyze. Analyze means we need to target the participants who are going to learn from you. So for that purpose, what is the problem? What they want to learn it? Why they want to learn it? What is has been done previously? Maybe it is like a prerequisite or something. What is the whether they have 12 pass, they have something engineering students or arts commerce sales students or science students, we need to understand what is their prerequisite gone through it. Once we identify it, so we can now think of what is the students or participants potential or existing learners potential, then what kind of a skill they want to develop it. So where do they live? maybe language barrier will come. That's what we need to know it. What is the typical language they are going to have it. Based on that, we can decide the language. Whenever we are teaching, my request to all the teachers, not keep in a barrier of the language, because from birth itself the person knows their mother tongue, and that mother tongue, whatever he understands, he understands first through the mother tongue. He doesn't understand as in any other language. So that's what, if it is possible, teach him in his mother tongue. That is what on a basically intention. And obviously that learning process or learning stuff will be much more faster in his mother tongue than any other language. So next is, what the skills do they have currently, and what the skills they want to achieve it. What's their educational background, internet access, whether it is all possible for them, or kind of things we need to identify. So this all will help you to design your entire course. So what are the characteristics? What are the limitations? Strength of your content delivery platform. Sometimes one session I would like to elaborate here. That is Professor Walter Levin. He has given in a very nice sessions, more than 80 to 90 lectures you can find on the YouTube. He has demonstrated his teaching by doing an experiment in the class. He has conducted so many lectures, experiment in the class itself. So that is also one of the way you can demonstrate practically students for a more and more or effective learning. And we need to also identify or analyze this learning goals for either institution or whether it is a learner driven. So next, once you identify this what entire analysis, then we'll come up with some basic points. What is the domain you want to work at? That is one thing. Then you, what should be the content available? What should be the timeline within which you want to deliver this entire content? And what is the platform you're going to do it? So that is what the first stage helps us to identify all these parameters, like in a domain, course content, time, how much time is available, and what is the prerequisite of the students, and all these things. Once we come up with this all uh, parameters for during analyze, so next is to develop it. Based on that, now you can select what is the content you're going to it, and this content you can use it, maybe reuse the content or develop your own content, or you can mix it, or you can create your own also. That is also possible. Then create different activities during the class itself. Maybe online you can have a simple activities, like you can have a simple quiz into this. You can tell them to create a screenshot of their entire activity. If you're going to teach in a programming, you can tell them you develop in a program, run it, and show an output as a screenshot. That is also one of the good activity. And or also you can tell them to interact or evaluate other uh, participants output, or other participants assignment, like this. Then after this, once you are going to into the develop stage, you need to select in a different assessment method. Maybe you are going to assign a certain quiz. Maybe you are going to assign some descriptive type of questions or some problems, or you may be going for some practical uh, measurements. That also you can assign for this. So when we are going to do this, we need to have a certain standard methods for course evaluation. Maybe going to have a quizzing or kind of tools you can use it for standard evaluation. Once we done it, the next step comes to start implementing. Whenever we are going to have an implementation, make sure you are going to follow certain timeline. Within this entire course, you need to keep your students or participants completely with you. They should be more interactive. They should be all the time touching, or they are all the time asking the questions to you. So accordingly you need to create a more and more interesting interest for them. So that is what the way we can critical to successful course is in a pilot course that conduct dry run. First of all, you run prior to the full implementation. Brief it, modify accordingly, whichever the difficulties you're going to face. Maybe an pronunciation difficulty will come, maybe an content delivery, or that is what the way you can do it. And develop a plan for formative, that is midpoint in the course, and summative evaluations for each course sessions. Implement course and modify accordingly midway through the course after formative evaluations. Then next last point is evaluate, redesign, and for gather all the feedbacks, analyze it, and also maybe in this feedback maybe in a summative or formative. Gather our course data, learning analytics from the lemmas, completion of the rates, all these things. Then you maybe compare the courses with other standards, quality metrics, kind of things. And next, last stage is to you can go for another course with a more design or more creative stuff into it. So that is what the way you can have an entire course to be designed. So now we'll look at the way, what is the way we can use this courses or how to start with it. So we have seen how to use this four stages within a few examples. We'll now look at the different demonstrations. I will start with a Gmail account and using this Gmail account, how to go for it. So this is my simple Gmail account. So when we are going to use this Gmail account, typically whenever we are going for using a Gmail account, you can log in it. So everybody knows about it. I need not to tell about it. So before going for this, I can now tell you one thing. If you click onto this grid, so there you can find so many options available. So these options have its own program, and these are called as apps in the Google plot. So here you can have a Google search, you can have a Google map, you can have a different news, and here it is a Play Store. Then Gmail is there. Here you can have a Google Meet, contacts. You can list on all the contacts. There is a drive. So this Google Drive is a very beautiful stuff. We are going to discuss about this more. Then you can have a calendar if you want to define in a certain schedule of your course. So you can define all entire into the calendar, and reminder will be sent to particular participants as well as teachers and everyone whoever are participating. So there is one more good option. You can translate it, you can talk, and you can type your entire stuff also. It is possible. Then there will be no photos. There is a call for it, and also you can go for certain shopping. We'll go into the Google Drives. When we click onto the Google Drive will start. So this drive is like a hard disk for you. This hard disk is of 15 GB size if you are using a free Gmail account. So if you want to pay maybe 130 rupees per month or something, and your Gmail drive size will increase it to 100 GB. And if you are going to pay more, obviously 300 GB or something, you can go on increasing. There is no problem in it. But 15 GB is more than sufficient for each and everyone. Need not to worry about it. So next is, so when you are going to have this new atom, is you can find different folders available into this, and from this folder you can extract and you can store all the data into the Google Drive. Then you can go into the new, here you can have a folder, you can create any new folder. If you click onto this, it will show you one folder. I can have an online tools. I can create one folder, and it will create one folder like an online tools something. You can go and you can drop what are the files you have. If you want to drop it one or two files, you can select all the files or single file also. You can drop and it will go on uploading it, and it has a huge speed. You need not to worry about it. So then you want to now create a folder, file upload, folder upload, whichever it is possible. There is an option called as a Google Docs. You can create your documents. You can create Excel sheets. You can create a PowerPoint. The same tools are there. Then there are Google Forms is also there. Google Drawing is there. my map, Google site. You can create your own site also. You can have an script, means some application you want to run it and you want to play with by using a programming. That is also possible. Then Jamboard and so many things. So in this, we'll just look at Google Forms. When we are going to create in a Google Form, first of all, when we define in a course and we want to have an Google Form, we can have an online. You can give the name for this teaching tools. This is nothing but my registration form. I can say it here, it is a registration form for this. In this case, you can just look at here. So there is a plus button here. Then there is an import. You can import the questions. You can add title something. You can add the image. You can add the videos also. You can create in a different sections for it. We'll now create in a simple form for this, and we'll look at how to create a registration form for this. So I can have I will say it is an add on question. I can go on adding multiple questions, and I can now even delete it. There is no problem in it. So when I say I want to have I want to collect all the email addresses or something, and here I will say I will change the name as in a Google Online Tools. So before starting form, my request is that first of all go into the setting. First of all, look at what are the different settings for it. You want to collect the email addresses. Yes, you can click onto this. You want to limit the responses because we faced much more difficulty when we create in a form, because people will not have a confidence and they will go on adding, means filling the form one, maybe two times, three times or more than that. So you want to restrict this. So when you come, you receive all the data, you will find maybe Suhas Deshmukh is responded more than 10 times or something. That may happen. To avoid this, you can have a limit of only one single response for a single email ID. That way you can do it. And then you want to have a response after submission, because that is also possible. You can edit, you can provide an edit, or you can provide an entire whatever information he is ready, that is so summary you can tell him. So next comes up in a presentation. You can show him progress bar, or you can reshuffle the questions. You can change the sequence of questions, or you may be having a quiz or something. You can reshuffle the questions. There is no problem in it. Here, once he completed his entire work, you want to give one simple message: thank you for your wonderful response. Like this you can write, and so this is what the way you can provide one message, and you can save it. Once we're done, you can just observe here it is automatically this email address came into this. Then now you can tell first name, or before that I can say it is salutation. So this salutation may be in a three different, maybe your doctor, maybe professor, maybe your Mr., maybe Miss, maybe Mrs. Like this, you can have multiple options. This is what the way you can collect it. Here you can have multiple options how to have this one. There may be a multiple choice questions, means multiple choice means out of this only one is applicable for it. That is what done. So there is another one, you can have a checkbox also. In this checkbox you can go for multiple checks, means you can select multiple. So you don't want to select anyone that to be in a multiple. That's what we'll select a multiple choice. Also you can have a drop down also. You can see all these drop down. You can select one of it and you can go ahead with this. So here you can have a file upload, or we'll look at it. Once it is done, then go for name of the first name. Then automatically it will select, because Google is more intelligent than we people. There is one more option here. So here it is you can duplicate this entire stuff. You can delete this, or you can have you want this to be not done all the time. It should not be skipped. In that case, you can select here required. You can click it here. That is what the way you can do this response is required. Similarly, I will do it for other question, first question also. Then for second question also, second, so I will say it is a last name, sorry, last name. Then here you can find one thing that it is taking automatically short answer because these words are going to define something. That's what it does. Okay. So I can now, if I click onto the required and if I keep without required, you can find here I not put here required. So here I put up in a required. So it is going to show me an a red star here, and here it is not red star. Whenever I put up on a required, automatically it will convert into star here and it will show it here. Then I can now ask the department, or automatically it will take an answer, or also you can forcefully tell which one you want to have. You can have a mech, then you can have an electrical, then you can have a civil, maybe some science people or something, science and arts people, something you can go on adding it. That is also possible. So here, this is what the way you can go on adding it. So now, so this so it has come in between it. You can drag it also. This I can drag it. I can take it to down also. That is not harm in it. Or else you can tell him to come up. That is also possible. Okay. So once we done this, so you can tell him that you want to give us some file also, you want to upload something file. So you can upload your file or something, and you can tell him to go for file upload. And you can click onto this, automatically it will create a file, what type of file you want to go for it. You can specify typical file, maybe you want only PDF file, you can click here, or you want to have an image file, or you can have a multiple selection also. There is no problem, okay, or any of this file. So size also you can increase 10 mm, 100 MB, 1 GB, 10 GB like this. You can select up to 10 MB, or if you don't want your file is smaller, you can go for 1 MB also. That is what the way you can create your form. Once you create this form, then there is one more option into this. So there is a linear scale. Most of the time we take a feedback and you want to rate the program or something. So in this case, you want to have a linear scale for this. In this linear scale, one number you want to define as a poor, and this is what an excellent. And so you can have a required for this. Once you complete this, you want to preview this. This is where you can have a preview of this entire program. So it is now reshifted. This is first name, second name, last name, again it has come. Somewhere we copied down, I think. So something is wrong, I think here. Maybe, yeah. I need to. Here automatically it goes on saving it. Don't worry about it. You need not worry about the saving of this. Okay. Now I'll once again go into this. Okay. We'll go into the email address. I'll provide an email address. So gmail.com. Then I will select mechanical. I will rate this to the 5. I'll add some file. I can drag and drop it one file here as in a simple file. I'll upload it. Okay. Then I will write here Deshmukh. So it is somewhere it is, I will put a doctor. But as sequence has changed, we can change that sequence. That is no problem. We need to just, I'll say it is submit. Once I done it, submit. Okay. So this message we already put into the settings. That is thank you for your wonderful response. So I can see this into entire response. Once I done this, so you can just go into the again Google form. Here you can find in one single response. So this entire analysis also will be possible if you have more than 5,000, 10,000 responses. You want to analyze this, how many doctors have done it, professors, misters, or all this also it is possible. That is what the way you can analyze this. Even you can decide the whenever you have a multiple choice, it will create a graphs and kind of things. Here you can find in a file, you can have a response rate, the response also. All these things you can quite easily see it. If you want to see the individual question answer, how the people have responded for it, so you can select the question from this first name, then you can have a department part, who has responded, then name, then rate, what the way it has responded. So if you want to see the individual response, maybe here only one single response, that's what, only one Gmail ID you can find it. So this entire single response also you can see it here. Once we complete, you want to extract that data and you want to download it onto your hard disk or something. So in that case you can go into this and you can say download the response. So it will go take you to the directly Excel sheet and you can download this entire response. So in this response, you can collect in different format also. You can download CSV file or maybe kind of things. I can now go into the folder. I can extract it, and then I will get an entire CSV file, and you can see this entire CSV file. It is created as for what are the form we created online here. So this is your file, time, at what time he has responded, then what is its username, maybe in this here we got an email ID, then salutation, first name, then last name, department, what file he has uploaded, what is its entire link where you can find. If you want to collect the file, you can copy down and you can put into this and you can get your file directly. You can open up that chapter 1 file here directly. So that way also it is, you can get this entire data. This data may be in a 1,000, 10,000, all this will be responded, responses will be there in a single file, that is what an Excel file. So this is what the way you can use Google Form for generating maybe some registration form kind of things. But when you are going to share this, there will be two options. If you want to send this to most of the people, so you can just click onto the send. You can go into here, it is an attach button is there. You can short out the link, you can copy it, and you can send it to anybody through the mail, or I can just copy down here and you can see here what response. So here I put up in one condition when we are going to setting. So already I responded. So obviously it is now showing that you can't do it because already you have finished your work. So that is what the way you can use in Google Forms. After this Google Forms, all the responses have come, and then now you want to have a Google Classroom for this. In this Google Classroom, you can just search on the Google, and in this Google Classroom, you can search on the Google. That is here you can get in a Google Classroom. In this Google Classroom, you can create your own class. Now I'll have already one class, that is a mechanical design class, having 13 students. But here you can, there will be two options. One is join the class and create the class. You can have create the class. You want to create your own, then you can click onto them create the class. So obviously you need to go on reading these instructions. Okay, so here it is showing that if your school is sign up for free G Suite account, then continue it. You can give the name for this online teaching tools. This is what the class we created. We can provide an appropriate section. Then I can here OTT something. You can decide which room you are going to conduct it, or you can keep it blanket. Once you say create, it is going to help you to create an entire platform for you as well as your students. It will create an streams. It will create an sharing the content. It will create an assignment content. So many things it will create it. Once it is created, it will show you this. You can now change this background or something. Okay. So here it is showing in the first time you're going to use it. Obviously, it will tell you some use information. So here you can see here, this is what nothing but a class code. If somebody want to register the class, you need to share this code, that is GV to you. This code will be different for different courses. Okay. So here you can see on a stream, then you can have on a classwork, then you can have on a different peoples. Here it is in a grades. So in classwork, here you can find in a different options will be available. You can go into create button, you can have an assignment, you can have a quiz assignment, you can have a questions, you can share the materials, or you can reuse the previous post, or in WhatsApp or Telegram we used to have forwards. The same way you can do it. You can decide certain discussion topic also, that also possible here. So in this stream, you can go on putting some message like welcome to all this online teaching tool class, like this. And once you post it, all students will come to know about it, and they may respond it to this message. So before that, I will show you how to add up the students. So you can go into the people. Here only one people you can find, that is Suhas Deshmukh, because I created it to my one. You can click onto this. You can go into the email IDs if you have it. I can now select all the emails which are here. I'll copy down and I can type it here, and I will say it is a invite all. Whenever you are putting this mail, make sure that there will be a comma in between it. Okay, this is not comma, that's what it is finding difficult to use it, so it has taken automatically. Then you can tell them to invite, and they will join in later stage. So that will give you one invite. I can show you how the invite will come. I don't know, I may have received the invite on my Gmail account here. So here may be a security alert for linked Gmail account. So this is what on my something. Okay, here I can say into see into the updates. So I got an invite. Student can click onto this. They can join this class, and that will be, he will be like now student here in this class. So in this, you can just look at here. So one of the student is, what are the invitation? One is missing now. Okay, now I can just click onto this, and I can just refresh this, so that you will come to know whether he has joined the class or not, how many of you are joined or rejected from this. Okay, so one is showing here, these are the invited, right? So you can again invite more students also. So now you want to assign some assignment something, so you can have an assignment. Once you click onto the assignment, you can provide assignment number 1. You can provide some blah blah or something responses or instructions for this. You want to have some file, you can drag and your PDF file, you can drop it here. The student will go on reading this file, and then based on that they will create their own document, or they can write a their own document. I will now say create. So I can create your own docs also. You can have on slides, sheets, or drawings, or any forms also you can include into this. So in this assign, you can find here it is a, you can assign this for whichever the students available for this. Okay, this is what the way you can assign one assignment. Now it is assigned for 0 students and turned into one. Well, not turned it means here you can see students. I can show you something different in other classes, how it is there. In people, you can see here so many students are there, and these students I assigned in some classwork. I can go into the people, I can go into the grades. I can now, oh, it don't have it. Okay. So maybe some other class I can show you here. Yeah, Google Classroom. I'll go back into the Google Classroom. I'll change this account to the Suhas Deshmukh so that you will come to know how to. So there is so many Google Classrooms I created. So we can go into one class, that is what, a mechatronics class. In this, I provided so many instructions to the students. Students have also responded some places like this. Here it is in a classwork. Here we have assigned so many tests or assignments. Here also case assignment number 2. So it is total 21 assigned and handed means they have returned back. They have submitted that particular assignment, that's 38, and 21 still they are waiting for this assignment. So if you want to view this assignment, you can go into this. So you can find entire chart for it. Who has submitted what type of assignment. So here you can see is that 38 students. So here 38 students entire list you can find. Out of that, so these are assigned, but they have not shown up. They have not completed their assignment. But wherever you can find 100 something, so these are the 100 marks assignment. So I can now just look into one place. I can go on reading it, and this is nothing but a scanned copy they have uploaded for evaluation purpose. I can go on reading this. Once I read this entire assignment, then I can now evaluate and I can give the marks here, maybe 95 or something, and that will be directly assigned to his place. Okay, if you want to provide in a certain private comment or private messages, you need to modify this or something, that also you can do it here. So this is what the way you can provide in a analyze. Here you can see here 95 or something. Here you can go on reading each and everybody's assignment and you can evaluate it. So once we done this, then you can just go on going for something like one assignment. Then you can have assign a quiz. You want to take some exam. So I can say it is CT1 class test 1. I can provide an instructions. I can go into the quiz. In this quiz, it is in a same as Google form. So I can have a CT1. So here I can have the same file name. Yeah, I can have CT1 here, and I can go on adding the questions. I can have a mechatronics involves mechanical, electrical, information technology. Maybe I can provide another combination. I can create an entire questions. Then I can have an information technology, civil, or something. Maybe I can have one more option, that science. I can have an arts or branch of. Then I can only have a computer Okay, but out of this four, only one answer is correct. Obviously I can click onto the answer, I can do it, done. So, and you can now, whenever the person is going to fill up this entire form, it will automatically evaluate based on this answer. If somebody has selected this answer, then he will be assigned an 100% marks. And if he's not assigned, it means if he is not selecting this, so he will not get in a 0 marks like this. You can get this. So this way you can create in a Google Forms or Google Test and something you can work out. So this is what the way you can provide in a quizzes, you can provide in equations, you can provide in a materials, and so you can share the materials, you can go on adding the files out here, you can provide in a different questions, 1 2 3 questions, something like this also you can do it. So here you can entirely collect all the grades. I'll just change and we'll go into this. You want to collect the all the evaluation at in a single place, you can download this. So these are the assignments. You can sort it by name or surname, whichever it is you want to do it, and you will get an entire Excel sheet for this. So based on that, you can now finally you will get a final grading also. You can do it easily using this. Okay, so that is what the way you can use this Google Class and Google Forms, Google Classroom kind of tools. And also you can schedule your test. So here it is one test is scheduled, and yet it is not decided when is to be fired out. Okay, so here it is the entire test is decided. Oh, so if here marks are not assigned for it, so it is when you want to marks it, I can go on putting some random numbers here, and based on that I'll get an responses. I can select all this so that you will come to know how to use it. I'm not going to read anything, but responding like randomly, because it has in totally 23 or more students. So you can have, I'll say it is in submit. So you can see it, my entire score. That student also you can see the score. So answer is this, but I selected something different. So that's what, this is what correctly it is chosen. So it will show into the green form. This is also correctly chosen. So that is what the way you can uh, analyze, and final marks also will be displayed, and this can be sent it to his email also. That is also option you can provide into this. This all is for Google Classroom and Google Forms. We'll now move towards the next part is how to use this mail merge, or you want to have a bunch of the certificates and you want to distribute it. That is for that purpose you want to have a mail merge, or you want to send in a multiple mails for a person. So this is what on a first of all you need to create an Excel sheet. This I created an Excel sheet for you people. So this Excel sheet contains different fields. One is first name, second name, department, institute, email, certificate number, like this. So in this first row, you can just observe. So here it is in a serial number, first name, second, last name, department, institute, email, certificate number. So these are typically called as in a fields for your using an online that is a mail merging purpose, and these are the data it is going to continuously changing. So first is Suhas Deshmukh, second is Viraj, then Keviraj, and this all mail IDs and all this is available. So in that case what we can do, we can create in a simple document. So I'll just create in a one letter for all this, so that we can have a proper invitation for uh, this program, and I want to have everybody's name included into this. So first of all I'll write in a letter to, I can start with a dear, I want to have a name of that person and all this I want to include. This should be the changing. This part is to have a different four people. I want to give a different name. Dear Suhas, dear Yogi Raj, like this. And then you can have a subject. So I can have invitation for online teaching program. And then I'm very much happy to invite you for online teaching program and all this you can write it. And then later you can say you want to just put up information about participants. Then I want to have a first name, second name, salutation, all these things you want to include. But I not included salutation. That also I will include into this. I will just provide one more insert. I can say salutation. Then I can have a doctor here, then professor here, then professor here, then again doctor here, like this. You can have multiple salutation into this. So you can, now you include this field you want to include, then you can go into the mailings. In this you can select on a mail merge, you want to create a letter for it. So then after that you need to bring that entire database which is stored into the Excel sheet here. So for that purpose you can select by recipient. You can create your own list also. You can create a list, you can write everything, the address line and everything. That is also possible. But if you have entire data available into Excel sheet, you can say existing Excel sheet, then select the location of your Excel sheet. So this is what participants data. It will entirely import this Excel sheet one as, and then I'll say okay. So this Excel sheet is now included into this. If you want to edit the information of any of this, you can just look at here and you can edit individual information also. You can do this way. Then you want to now include these fields here. So for that purpose you can just go into the fields. You can just look at here what are the first row. All these rows are converted into fields. That is what it is called as an insert field. Then I can have I can include salutation, then I can provide space for it, then I can write a first name, then again space, then last name, then I want to provide a comma for this, then I want to give an appropriate entire information of it. So for that purpose I can have salutation, then first name, then last name. This is my information. Second, I want to include department. Then after that I want to include institute. Also I want to include email address. Also I want to give a last certificate number. So these are the fields. It should be changed as per data into the Excel sheet. That is what it is expected. So we have in total 4 participants. Likewise, you can have a huge number of participants. It may go more than 100 also, or 1000 also, or 10,000 also. So you can just look into the preview. So you can just look at here. It is a preview means first here it is showing. So as they show, and if you look into this Excel sheet, you can see here. So this entire first row, that is this all fields are coming out here as per your requirement. Okay. So if I go to the second one, automatically it will select second, third, fourth, fifth, like this, whichever it is. Once we done it, then click onto the mail merge. You can mail merge and you can say it is printed. and it will create now four different files, four different letters for you, or you can convert into PDF also. It is better to convert into PDF, or you can directly give a print for this also. You can convert this into the PDF and store into same place. I can say it here. It is the letters. Similar manner, you can create a certificate also. You can design your entire certificate, and you can provide these all information. Once we create it here, you can just look at here. It is on a PDF letters it has created. It will have a four such files into this. So first letter will be for Suhas Deshmukh, second Yogiraj, then Kavidas, then Sharad Muli. But I need these all letters to be separated, or these all letters to be separated. So for that purpose, again you go to the online. So here you just search one I love PDF. Okay, you can go online onto the I love PDF. You can separate these files into the separate files. I can have split the files. Okay, you can select your file, whichever you want to split it. I want to split this latest file. So once it is selected, then you can now say it is a, you want to have a separate files. That's what you can select it to the extract pages. Then click onto the PDF. That is extract, split the PDF. So it has now created a splitting. Now I can download this entire stuff on same tools. Then it will create in one zip with the four different files. Now you go back to this, you've gotten this zip file, extract this. You'll get four different letters, letter number 1, 2, 3, 4, something. And to give the numbering for this, I can select all this and I can give a first numbering from the 10. I can have a 10, 1, 2, 3, something. Then I want to give the name for maybe starting with 10. It will now 10, 11, 12, 13, something. Likewise, I can maybe having maybe 10, maybe 50 files or 1,000 files or 10,000 files. At a stretch, you can have all these files at a single place. Once we done this, now next is to distribute this to the particular person, or you need to create a link for it so that people can share onto this. Now I can have one folder I will create onto my Gmail drive. So I can have, say it is a letters as in the names, and I'll dump this all the four files into this. I can drop onto this. So all those four files will come down here, and these are the four files. Now these four files, I want to create in one single Excel sheet for all this, and so that everybody can get their own file by clicking only once into a single Excel sheet or PDF file. Now I'll create in one single Excel sheet. Now I can copy this entire fields. So this is what certificate, and here I want to provide links for downloading this later. So I can have links here. I can write links, but to generate these links, generate this link, I can now have, I can give the name for this Excel sheet as links to letters, maybe having some file. Okay, just having, so okay, letters, something is wrong. Okay, once we create this, And so obviously I'll just log out this and once again on login. Sometimes this may happen whenever you are going to use this. Whenever you are going to use this drive, it is requested that you should log out from all the account and be into one single account. So it has two different accounts I'm currently using. Instead of that, I will log out from all the accounts and I will have only one single account where I'm going to use this. So I can go into this and I created this into this account. Then I'll provide a password. And then I'll go into the drive. In this drive we created one folder. That is, before that I will just go into some script I need to write for this. And there is one script I stored into this sheet so that each and everyone can generate this link and they can download the files. So for this purpose I will just copy down this script and then again I will come back to you. I think some problems is there, I think. Okay, maybe. Okay, something problems there. Once we create this Excel sheet, now we need to create a links of that particular folder or all the files kept into this letter folder. So for that purpose, there is one simple code. You can get this code online also, or you can I will share that code into my PPT. So this is what code you can copy it and you go into the Excel sheet and go to the tools, go to the script editor. So this is a script editor which will generate a link for you for the different files. Now I can just select all and then delete this and then paste this. Whenever you are going to paste it, this is nothing but it is going to go for this particular spreadsheet and everything it is going to do it. So in this case, there is one element which is called as an ID. This ID should be such that this folder ID and this folder ID, you need to select this folder ID this much and then paste into or replace into the previous ID and then save this entire code with which are the name. You can go into an untitled project something and then run this code. Okay, once this run, if you run the code, it will ask some certain permissions. So this authorization permissions, and you can provide this authorization permission from this Gmail account where you want to run the code, and you can say it is go and allow to execute this code because this is going to play with a Gmail account. That's what it is going to ask you the permissions. Once you run this code, it will generate links for it. So these are the links it has created. So this is for first file, second file, third file, something. So here you can just observe these files are not in sequence. So if you want to bring this into the sequence, select this column, then go into the data and then, sorry. So you can select this much only, then go into the data A to Z. Something is wrong, I think. Okay, you can arrange this by just providing a data. Now I will just, you can now select this. I will copy paste it here and I'll select this. can arrange. Maybe some problem with this. Okay, once I provided these numbers 1 2 3, now you know this Excel sheet with all the names and everyone. Now you can copy down this entire Excel sheet with all certificate number, then paste it. So this is what the way entire Excel sheet is created. Now you can download this Excel sheet in terms of an either PDF format or whichever format you want it, and you can export it, then save. After saving, you can open this file, and you can now click onto the link in front of that person's name. You can get that particular letter. So that is the way you can distribute your either letters, you can distribute your certificates, whichever it is possible. So you can click onto the last link or in middle link, maybe Kavida's mail link. You can get the letter or certificate of that particular person, maybe Kavidas or something. Okay, so this is what the way you can use this online teaching tools for having these all tools. You can use it in appropriate way. So this is all for today's session. If you have any queries, you can be in touch with me on my email account. I will share my email account, and so you can Suhas Deshmukh, email is suhas.deshmukh@gmail.com, and number is 96577195507. Thank you all. Thank you very much.